What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Just finished up a 6-mile easy run at an 8:14 minute per mile pace in 49 minutes 30 seconds. This video I'm going to be talking about how I'm preparing for my 50-mile race, which is on April 2nd, and taking you through a day of training where I'm kind of going with a hybrid style of training with running and weightlifting. So I'm going to take you guys through that day, what I'm eating, what I'm lifting, what I'm working out, things like that. So let's get into it. So today is Thursday. Now I've been trying to incorporate more of a hybrid style of training into my routine, just to keep the strength up and keep my body strong. So I've said it before, but right now my schedule looks like this. It's Monday is an off day from running, and I've been doing strength training on Mondays. Tuesday is an easy run to get back into the week, and I've been doing strength training on Tuesdays as well. Wednesday is a speed workout, so I do only a running workout. Thursday is an easy run, and I will incorporate strength training with that as well after my run. Friday is an optional rest day or just a very easy jog, shorter distance run, leading into my long runs on Saturday and Sunday. So I'm trying to incorporate that hybrid training back into my schedule because after this 50-mile race, I'm wanting to kind of get back on the road and do more road running things. I will still stay involved in the ultra scene one way or another, just because that's something that is very galvanizing and fun to be around, just a really badass atmosphere. But I'm kind of missing that road and a little bit of speed work, so I might find like a half or a full sometime in the near future. But also there are some things my wife and I want to get done to the house, so I promised her that I would kind of take a step back and focus on that for the time being, so that'll be good. All right, so before this morning's run, I had a scoop of G1M Sport with about 16 ounces of water, got that down, and then before this workout, I've got a peanut butter and honey sandwich. This has been my go-to, whether it be on toast for breakfast or if I'm gonna hit a run right into a lift. And then I've got my reds and greens mixed up in Emily's shaker that I stole. So those are gonna go down, and then I'm gonna hit a back, arm, and core workout today. Also, I want to preface this video. I know that I'm taking you through a day of my training, preparing for a 50-mile race, but it kind of sucks because you will not see any of my strength workouts just because I'm a member at Planet Fitness. Obviously, they're a lot more strict than other gyms are. It's open 24 hours. It's cheap, so it gets the job done for now, especially just strength training 3 days a week. It has everything that I need from an equipment standpoint, but hopefully in the near future, I might switch gyms where I can start taking my camera in more so I can show you guys some of the weight and strength training that I'm doing while I'm balancing running, or just in general some things that I enjoy that feels good on my body, that gives me a good pump, things like that. So again, it sucks, but maybe in the near future we can change that. All right, workout is complete. A nice back, arm, and core session went down today. Got a nice pump going, which, speaking of, I've got a new BPN shipment that's coming in today, but I won't spoil it for you all. Some things new, some things repeating, so whenever that arrives later today, we'll go through that. Now we're gonna head to the store, get some stuff for some lunches, snacks, dinners, etc. So anyway, we'll go to the store, get a couple of things, and then go home and see what we've got going on for what is gonna be a late lunch. Alright guys, we're back home from the store. Just got some lunch cooked up, one that you all have probably seen multiple times. This is just some grilled chicken. It's in a frozen bag with some rice that I microwaved. Throw it on a skillet, mix it up with a little bit of Frank's Red Hot Sauce, and then Kroger brand teriyaki marinade. Amazing combination. I do that for probably 95% of my lunches. So this is about to go down. Just sits well in my body, it tastes good, and it fuels me really well. So gonna get this down, and then in a little bit we're gonna talk about some things that I've been doing throughout this 50-mile prep, some things that I changed or learned from my 50K race a couple of weeks ago, and how I've implemented that going forward in my training, and just some other things that I've experienced, what I've learned, and what the plan is as I get ready for this race in just 9 days. So we'll see you after lunch. So, I know I said we were going to talk race preparation, training, things like that, and we will, but I just got my BPN shipment in a little earlier than what I expected, and I've already dove into the fill bars, already crushed one. So, I got the plant-based fill bar. This is the chocolate sea salt flavor, and I'm usually not a big chocolate fan, but I do love chocolate with sea salt, or just a sweet and salty combination, and these are delicious. They satisfy my hunger, and they're perfect for like a midday snack or between lunch and dinner. And then next, I re-upped on my G1M Sport. I got the fruit punch flavor again. I got one container about 2 weeks ago, but there's only 25 servings in each. So I just wanted to make sure that I had enough for the rest of this training and for my actual race day. And then 2 new products that I've not ordered before. I've tried the Flight, just not mine. So I know that it's great. It's by far my favorite pre-workout that I've ever taken, and I love a good stimulant, and this is it. So I got the pink lemonade in the Flight pre-workout, and then I got Endo Pump, I got blackberry lemonade. So hoping these flavors will taste really good together. Now Endo Pump, this is something like I said, I've never tried this product before, but I've heard great things about it. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like, which is just a muscle pump enhancer. So one, you get a good pump while you're in the gym, while you're working out, but then 2, it helps increase blood flow, so you can help target those muscles a little bit better. You can feel where you're pushing, where you're pulling, and just help make it a little bit better of a workout. This is my BPN restock, second one this month. Emily probably isn't too happy about it, but I'll blame it on the fill bar because they restocked the fill bar. So if it wasn't for that, I probably would not have placed another order. So we saw my breakfast, my lunch, my midday snacks, but tonight you will not see the featured dinner because Emily and I are going to go to a local spot that we always go to. She actually headed there after work to meet one of our friends. They're going to get some drinks, and then I'm going to meet them for dinner later on. Not sure what I'm going to have. I usually will get, it's called champagne chicken. It's like chicken, mushrooms, over some mashed potatoes. It's great. And then I'm going to sound like a 12-year-old whenever I say this, but they have an amazing chicken tender and fry meal. And Ruby can vouch for that. But the chicken tenders and fries meal is so good because they have this special barbecue sauce. It's like a mango barbecue that they can toss their chicken tenders in. So it'll either be champagne chicken or the mango barbecue chicken tenders. So we will not see dinner tonight. But now we're going to get into preparation and different thoughts that I've had surrounding my 50-mile race. Now we're going to dive into how I've been training, what I've learned, what I've taken away, and some different things that I'm trying as I train for my 50-mile race in just 9 days. And I wrote down a couple of things just so I can kind of stay on track with what I wanted to touch on, and I'll just go in the order that I wrote things down. So one thing that I'm doing differently this time is I have, for the last 11 or 12 days, I've cut out alcohol completely. And I've never really felt like that I have an issue with alcohol or that it's a vice of mine, but I think that some people can relate to the fact that since COVID started, it's kind of become something that you kind of step back and reassess your relationship with. Because personally, I never really drank at home before COVID. I would drink if we went out, like to the bars, or at dinner I might have a drink every now and then. But then whenever COVID started and you're pretty much stuck at home for at least the first month or so of it, I would find myself having drinks during the day, which is okay, every now and then, as long as you feel like that you can balance that, or you have a healthy relationship with it. It's something that I think I got in the rhythm of, and it wasn't something I felt like I didn't have control of, but I really wanted to reassess that relationship. And I think that training for this race and being about a month out from the race, it was a good time for me to just cut it out and try it and see how I felt and if it would affect my training and my race at all. Some things that I've noticed is that my body is leaned out significantly, in my face a little bit, and in my stomach and midsection. But another thing is that my energy levels have increased and my recovery time has increased. I feel, and I'm still kind of back and forth, is this a placebo effect or not? But I genuinely feel a difference in how my body feels, how my body looks, and how I'm feeling physically and from a mental space. My anxiety levels have surfaced a little bit better, or maybe situations surface a little bit quicker than what they had before. And it could just be a subconscious thing that whenever I was drinking alcohol, that maybe that was something, again, I felt like it was being used to pass time. So maybe that was something subconsciously that was kind of lingering there. So it feels really good to just kind of be able to step back and reassess my relationship with it. On longer runs, a lot of times I would struggle with lower stomach discomfort, internally. And I did on my 50K as well at about mile 16 or 17. And part of that was, I think, a testament to my nutrition and fuel, which I'll touch on. But I think another point that might have been, alcohol consumption. I didn't drink for 3 or 4 days before my race, but consistently it wasn't there. So with last weekend's long run, I did 24 miles on the trail. I didn't feel that at all. And that could have just been how I felt that day, how my body was that day, because I have switched up nutrition and fueling a little bit. So that could have been that. But overall, I'm feeling really good about it, and I'm going to see this through until at least my race. I don't plan on cutting it out completely, just because, I do enjoy a good drink and the social aspect of it, which I have missed that. But overall, I've felt great, and I'm happy with how I'm feeling and the results so far. Another part of my planning and training preparation for this 50-miler is pre and intra fuel, so hydration, nutrition, and things like that. I've been drinking a lot of Noon tablets. That was kind of my plan from the get. And then whenever I did this 50K, that's what I did throughout that whole race. I didn't have any other liquid besides water. It was Noon tablets and water, which are great for, I think, day-to-day, rehydration and during runs sometimes. But on the trails, it's just a different sort of depletion of your body. So I think that I needed more substance. Longer runs especially, I've been doing more carbs and more filling foods. And I've also have been using Bare Performance Nutrition G1M Sport, which has 350 milligrams of sodium, 20 grams of carbs, and 80 calories in each scoop that I put in about 16 to 20 ounces of water. So I've been using that a lot more pre-runs and intra-runs, and I've noticed a pretty significant difference. I think mainly because of the sodium levels I've been taking now. I think my body responds really well to that. So that's one thing that I've changed, is having a scoop of G1M Sport pretty much before every single run, no matter what. And then longer runs, pretty much anything 11 to 12 miles. Plus, I will have at least one more scoop with 16 ounces of water during my run. Now, last weekend's 24-mile run, I had a scoop of G1M Sport before, a bagel with some blueberry spread on top, and then before I took off, I had a small bag of Doritos, chips for carbs and sodium. And then intra-run at about mile 14 or 13, I had a peanut butter and honey sandwich. And then in my vest, I had 2 water bottles, one with a scoop of G1M Sport and the other with 2 scoops. And I was sipping on those throughout the entirety of the run just to make sure I was still having sodium and liquids and carbs and all that jazz. And then I also had honey stinger waffles during my run. And by the end of it, I felt like I could have gone 10 more miles comfortably. And so that would have put me at 34, 35 miles. And from there, I would just have 15 more to get to 50 miles. Now, granted, the terrain is a lot different at this race that I'm going to, and the elevation's a little bit more than what I'm able to train on here. I'm really glad that I ran that 50K because I think it taught me a lot about what I was lacking, where I can improve, and what I do good already. So that's what I'm feeling kind of on the nutrition and fuel standpoint going into this 50-mile race. Now, the actual plan for my run, And again, I'm still working with my coach, Caitlin Yonke. She's with Run Infinite. She's in the Colorado area. She is a badass runner, very seasoned in the ultra world and running in general. And she's very, very knowledgeable. She's been a good resource for me to just kind of sit back and watch how she does things and to have conversations with her on the phone. And I think that still with my 50K, I came out a little faster than what I needed to. And even though my first mile was like a 10-minute pace, I think I'm so accustomed to road running that I translate all of my mile splits to like road running. So I'm like 10 miles is slow for me. But when you're on the trail and you're in that terrain and you have elevation, ascent and descent, it's a totally different environment. And you have to remember that you have to run your own race and base it off of how your perception is. Even though I learned a lot and took away a lot from that race, I think that I still could have come out a little slower and that I could have been a lot more reserved through the first like 20 miles of that race. So with my 50-mile race, my plan is to come out very reserved and comfortable and try to maintain as much comfortability as I can through the first half of the race. I know that it's going to be, a hard physical effort in general, but from like a perception and my perceived effort, I'm going to try to keep that low and comfortable for as much as I can. That way I can gauge, one, where I'm at when I get to the halfway point and what I have left in the tank and where. So that's the plan for the actual race from like a strategy standpoint. And I did practice that last weekend, just trying to remain comfortable throughout most of my run and not like pushing it, because ultra marathons, you can afford to make mistakes. So, if you have a small injury or tweak your ankle or you go off course, like in a 50-mile race, that really is not that significant, especially if it's early on in the race, because there's so much time to make up and you never know how you're going to feel or how someone else is going to feel at mile 1 compared to mile 28 or mile 10 compared to mile 40 and so on and so forth. So that's one thing that I'm doing going forward, is just trying to be patient and comfortable for as long as I can, and then just seeing what I have left in the tank on the back half or the last like 10% of that race. So I'm feeling a lot more confident going into this race following my 50K. Ultra marathons have really taught me to be patient. It's translated from my training and from actual races and just listening to my body as well. And that's kind of where I'm at with this 50-mile race and how I've been training. I know I mentioned missing road running and speed work and things like that, but right now the primary focus is this 50-mile ultra marathon. So I hope you guys have enjoyed a little bit of a day in the life, how I'm preparing and adjustments that I've made for this 50-mile race on April 2nd. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram, leave a comment on this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one.